things that invalidate and do not invalidate itikaf. 271. When a person in itikaf must leave the mosque to meet their religious or physical needs, this does not invalidate their itikaf. Example, if a person in ITIKAF, mutakif, leaves the mosque to perform Friday prayer, this does not invalidate their itikaf, as it constitutes a valid religious excuse. Since the duration of the Friday prayer is known in advance, this time does not count toward the itikaf. Similarly, leaving the mosque to perform ablution or take a ritual bath is a natural excuse and does not invalidate the itikaf. Likewise, if the mosque where one is staying is in danger of collapsing or if one is forcibly removed from there, this constitutes a necessary excuse and does not invalidate the itikaf. According to the Shafi'i school, going to another mosque for Friday prayer breaks the itikaf. If the itikaf is to last a week, one must enter itikaf in a mosque where Friday prayer is performed. 272. One goes to the nearest place to perform Friday prayer or to attend to a need, and then returns to the mosque. If one leaves the mosque due to a valid reason, the itikaf is completed at another mosque. 273. Leaving the mosque without a valid reason invalidates the itikaf. Therefore, if a person observing itikaf leaves the mosque at night or during the day, whether intentionally or by mistake, for any period of time without a valid reason, the itikaf is voided. According to 2 imams, this period is more than half a day. According to another view, it consists of an unspecified period of time during the day. If a woman leaves the room where she is performing itikaf and enters her home without a valid reason, her itikaf is invalidated. 274. Leaving the mosque to perform the following activities also interrupts itikaf: visiting the sick, attending a funeral, performing the funeral prayer, serving as a witness, or going outside for about an hour due to illness also breaks itikaf. However, if visiting the sick and attending a funeral prayer are made conditions when making a vow of itikaf, going out for these purposes does not break itikaf. 275. Going outside due to a very rare excuse also breaks the itikaf. Just as going outside to rescue someone who is drowning or trapped in a fire invalidates the itikaf, so too does going outside when the congregation disperses. 276. If a person observing itikaf experiences unconsciousness or insanity for a few days during this act of worship, the itikaf is invalidated. Once they recover and regain consciousness, they must begin the itikaf anew. In fact, even if this condition persists and does not subside until several years later, they must still make up the itikaf. 277. The issues described above apply to obligatory itikafs. In the case of voluntary itikaf, whether or not there is a valid excuse, going outside or visiting a sick person does not invalidate the itikaf. 278. When a mandatory itikaf is invalidated, it must be made up. For example, if during an itikaf performed for a specific month, the fast is broken on a certain day or one goes outside, making up only that one day of itikaf is required. However, during an itikaf vow for an unspecified, uninterrupted month, if the fast is broken or one goes outside on such a day, one must start a new 1-month itikaf. It makes no difference whether a person observing itikaf breaks their fast and goes outside of their own free will, or falls into a state of insanity or fainting against their will. 279. According to the preferred opinion, there is no need to make up a voluntary itikaf that is abandoned after it has begun. 280. For one who is in itikaf, engaging in sexual intercourse with one spouse or any action that might lead to it, such as kissing or caressing, is forbidden, whether during the day or at night. Sexual intercourse, whether intentional or unintentional, invalidates the itikaf. Ejaculation is not a prerequisite. Other actions, however, do not invalidate the itikaf unless ejaculation occurs. Ejaculation or wet dreams resulting from looking or thinking also do not invalidate itikaf. 281. A person in itikaf may purchase necessary items in the mosque without keeping them there they may bring items into the mosque that will not cause damage to it. They may eat and drink inside the mosque. If there is a suitable place prepared inside the mosque, they may perform ablution and ritual bathing there. If there is no such place, they should go outside, perform abstinence, and bathing at the nearest location, and return to the mosque immediately without delay. 2A person in retreat may climb the minaret to recite the call to prayer. It does not matter if the minaret's door is outside the mosque. O God, make use among those of your servants who have dedicated themselves to your worship and who strictly obey your commandments and prohibitions. Amen. And praise be to God who governed the universe.